back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be sharing my entire eyeshadow palette collection. So we're just hopping straight into it. We're going to be going in alphabetical order. So starting off with YESJUDY. I have a few palettes here. I haven't used them yet, so let me know which one I should use first. And then we move into Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I have a lot of their older palettes because my friend Denise, she was so kind. She had a lot of their older palettes and she saw that I was reviewing them at one point, but I think a lot of us just got bored of the brand a little bit after like the Novena palette. But she sent me all of her old palettes because she was doing a declutter and she passed them on to me so I could do comparisons for you guys. And I have yet to use these palettes for comparisons because I kind of just stopped reviewing the brand. But here are my palettes. Of course, my first ABH palette was Modern Renaissance, and then it went to Subculture, and then I think next was Soft Glam, and then Novena, Jackie Aina, Kali Bible. And I think after that, that's when I stopped having interest in the brand. And I think that's probably when a lot of us did, because I think at that time afterwards, they were just releasing so many palettes. It was hard to keep up. And honestly, for me, it wasn't really that interesting anymore because their palettes are not cheap, you know, like I know Colourpop comes out with a lot, but like at least they are affordable. All of these I actually do have a full review and 3 looks on. So you can just search Judy's reviews and the palette name and something will pop up. I think I have about 280 palettes in today's video, and I would say like 80%, 90% of all these palettes I've done a video on. So if that doesn't show you how many looks and videos I've done, then I don't know what will. This video is a collection of like all of my work. But now we're moving on to BH. I actually did declutter a lot of their palettes, so I'm only left with these 2, which are both collabs, Tina Young and Shishi Yang. But moving along straight into C, this is gonna be a big chunk of today's video, which is my Colourpop palettes. We of course gotta start off with Yes Please, which was, I believe, their first ever eyeshadow palette. That's when I was really getting into the brand, and I'm kind of going in order of the release date. So I'm showing all of the 12 pans first because this is what they started with. I think this just brings back a lot of memories. All of these palettes definitely takes me back to a certain time. You know, I wasn't living where I'm living now. I wasn't working the job that I'm working now, you know, like it just takes me to a certain time. I had a completely different hair color, and that's the thing about these palettes, that they bring so much memory because, you know, I work really hard on my looks and my videos that they take a really long time. So when I do 3 looks, I usually film 1 look per day. So if I work on 1 video, that's about a week for me, like editing and everything. So all of these palettes really do take me back to a time, and I think a lot of Colourpop's old palettes, I don't know, they just had like more of an interesting color story. They were just so much more interesting. Like every launch that Colourpop did, I was just so excited for the next palette. And I feel like back then, maybe like 2018, they had a launch maybe like every month. Like these days, it's definitely every week, but back then I think it was like every month, which is still a lot. Yeah, these are some of their older palettes. Let me know if you have a favorite from these, if you've been with Colourpop since the beginning from these 12 pans. I really wish they would do more 12 pans these days, but still love all of these palettes. And yeah, again, they just bring back a lot of memory. Then moving into the next category of their 9 pans, which is definitely one of my favorite palette size from Colourpop. I'm just going in the rainbow with these because they typically are all monochromatic, and I actually did upload an updated Colourpop palette guide for 2022 where I do showcase and I actually talk about these palettes. I show swatches, so I'm going to leave that in the cards here if you want to check that out. That's something a little bit more in depth. Today's video is just, you know, a chill video going through my collection. I'm not swatching anything. It's just, I mean, if I was going to swatch everything in today's video, like, that would literally take me months to film and have that uploaded. So yeah, today we're just going to focus on the palettes. I think you can actually see how long it took me to film this video by seeing my nail. Like right now, you can see my nail hasn't grown out a lot, but you'll see at the later clips, my nail has probably grown out a lot because this took me a few weeks to film. Like my hands were shaking from holding these palettes, but these are Colourpop's 9 pans, truly iconic. I feel like after Colourpop did these 9 pans, everyone started doing 9 pans, and they even did it in the similar format. I recently saw on Instagram, I don't even remember the brand name, it just came up on my For You page, but this brand literally copied Colourpop's Going Coconuts palette, like from the logo to the shade names and like 9 pan and everything. And I was just like, don't people get sued for this kind of stuff? It's like wild to me. It was like worse than Makeup Revolution, honestly. Like it was way worse. And also I wanted to mention that I probably started filming this video almost a month ago, maybe more than a month ago. So I'm just counting the palettes that I had currently at this time of filming. So I'm not going to count the palettes that I recently got in PR because I actually did a little giveaway on my Instagram. I asked you guys to guess how many palettes are in my collection, and someone did guess correctly or nearly correctly, so I'm gonna leave that towards the end of the video, but I'm gonna DM her after I edit this video, so she'll already be contacted. But that was just something fun I did on my Instagram story. So if you want to follow me there, I'm deciding to do more spontaneous giveaways, you know, for the followers, you know, for the true followers of mine. So I just want to be clear that, you know, maybe if you've seen any of my recent reviews, you're like, why is that palette on here? I'm just counting what I had at this current moment of filming. the 9 pans being done, we move into these smaller pans. So these are their 5 pans. A lot of these are pretty much all gone now. I think they're phasing them out. I don't think these really got a lot of hype. I mean, they didn't get a lot of hype from me either. I wasn't like the biggest fan of these, but they were nice and cute. I mean, like, they're not horrible, but I don't know, something about 5 pans just, it's not my vibe. I like a 9 pan, a 12 pan, that's like my perfect size, but they had a bunch of these. I think when they released this, mini palettes were everything, but I don't know, I think their ones just kind of missed. Although this one, just a glitch, is really pretty. I think that was probably my favorite, which I haven't even used yet. So just the color story was more interesting. But we also have some collab palettes. You probably saw a lot of collab palettes throughout the ColourPop ones. I think it's just really nice to look back on. Like, I think my ColourPop collection is truly a collector's collection, especially with my palettes, because yeah, I've been there since day one, since they released their first eyeshadow palette. So I would say I probably have about 90% of all their palettes. And then also moving into the quads, we have these ones from their Animal Crossing collection, which I was so excited for. I was a hardcore Animal Crossing fan. I don't play it anymore. Like, I kind of want to restart my entire island, but yeah, you need time to do that, and these days just got no time. But they do have a lot of eyeshadow quads. They have a lot, but a lot of them also are phased out, so most of these you probably won't find on the website anyway. And they had a whole astrology line of their quads, which I found to be really cute. I just found it weird how they discontinued them when they didn't even have it released for like 1 year. So like, I think it released maybe last year, November or December. So like, let's say your birthday's now. What's the season now? Like Virgo, Libra? What if you wanted to get your palette now and you can't because they pretty much discontinued everything? You know what I mean? I feel like they should have let everyone have a chance, let it run for a year. But anyway, ColourPop's just always discontinuing things, and it's really hard to keep up. I don't know where my last ColourPop review was, but I have the High School Musical collection, which obviously you're not going to see in this video because again, I got that after I filmed this video. But yeah, I want to review that because I was a really big High School Musical fan. But anyway, not related to what you're seeing on the screen. This is almost like a podcast in a way. I'm just like saying whatever, honestly. My throat is a little bit hoarse. I have a little bit of a cough, so excuse that. But yeah, enjoy these quads, guys. Enjoy. Then they also have these longer palettes. They're 10 pans. They don't really have many, but here is a few that they did release. And at one point they did have this format of a palette, which they don't actually do that often anymore. It's like 15 pans, 18 pan, but yeah, this is not really common. I feel like a lot of these palettes, as you can see, they were collabs, so very limited edition. This one, all I see is magic. Wow, that takes me back. That was like, I don't know, 2018 Christmas or something. But yeah, this palette format, I feel like they keep it for collabs, so that way they can add in more shadows and whatnot. They also don't do this format of 16 pans anymore. Again, this was very limited to collabs. As you can see, these two, Makeup Shayla, I Love Seta E, but this one, Fame and Fortune. This packaging, it connects, it's super cute. I feel like ColourPop really had that at one point in time. I mean, the packaging is still cute, you know, but I feel like that was kind of creative. But then I have these magnetic palettes that have single shadows in them, one with glitter, one that I picked out. And it's just mix and match. And then this one, this was a curated one from ColourPop that I got in PR. We're moving into the makeup palettes now. They have a lot of makeup palettes. I feel like in the past year, they released a lot of makeup palettes, and although they're really pretty, I don't really use makeup palettes that much. Honestly, the Bon Voyage one in collaboration with BT21, that one I feel like right now has been my favorite. I've been using that one actually a lot for colorful shadows, but they do have quite a fair few of these makeup palettes. But okay, we finally escaped Colourpop. We're going into Dear Dahlia. I have this one palette. Again, my dear friend Denise sent me this as well because I do like the brand. I haven't tried the palette yet, but she sent that over to me to try. We also got Dose of Colors. These two palettes are the only ones I have, which are both from Desi and K's collection. And then I also have one palette from Eglips as well, which I also really like. Then we have M Cosmetics. I have all of their Divine Skies eyeshadow palette. I absolutely love these. These are such good palettes, 6 shadows, everything you need, good to go, beautiful formula. Absolutely love it. And then we have Flower Nose. I have this one palette currently, but they actually did send me more of their palettes, so I do have more now. Moving into Fenty Beauty, I have this Space Galaxy one. This was their first ever eyeshadow palette, and it's probably the most expensive palette I have in my collection. But I also do have their Snap Shadows, which I actually got sent in PR. It was like my only PR package from Fenty Beauty, the one-off package I got. And yeah, I did a whole video on these. I actually really like these. They actually snap together, so it's really good for travel. I think they did a really good job with like the 6 colors and the convenience of it. And then on to Game Beauty. I believe these are all 4 of their palettes, but I've only tried the Adventure and the Fantasy palette, which were their first 2 palettes, but they recently came out. I don't think it was that recently actually, it might have been a while ago, but they came out with 2 new palettes, which I still have yet to try, but I really like the color story. It's a very unique, and I think the packaging is really nice. Like as a gamer, former gamer, kinda, I think the packaging is really pretty. But we now move into Heimish, not Hamish, it's Heimish. I have these 3 palettes from them, not too many. I do like this one though, the 9 pan. The 9 pan I really like. Jason Wu only have 1 palette as well. And then Juvia's Place, I have a few. I did declutter a little bit just because, I don't know if you guys saw the little incident that they had earlier this year. You can just Google it. That kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth, so yeah, I mean, I don't want to like declutter all of my Juvia's Place palettes because I really do like them and I like the color stories, so yeah, probably just won't purchase from them for a while. But we move into a brand that I do really love and support, which is kaleidos. Is it my accent? I don't know, but I say kaleidos. And they have beautiful packaging, beautiful formulas. These are their 6 pans, which I don't know, they don't really do this format anymore, but they also collab with Angelica, Club Nebula, Iconic. They also have another palette called Escape Pod in the same format. Also love. I honestly love all of the palettes, and then recently they've been doing these quads, which I actually feel like the formula is definitely more creamy. But this palette is from Keep in Touch, and then this one is from Little Ondine. It's in a shape of a vinyl. It flips out. It's super cute, like very unique. I think that's probably one of the most unique packaging of eyeshadow in my collection, to be honest. So we move along into Lunar Beauty. This is the only palette I have for him. I really enjoy this one. I need to use it again. This one, Mount Cosmetics Gemini 2. Honestly, I do like low-key regret it a little bit, but I kind of like it in a way because it does remind me of my Red Dragon palette. But anyway, we got this one from Mimi Box. This was a collab with Soothing Sister. This is 2014, guys, such a long time ago. And then this is the only palette I have from Milani, and also this is the only palette I have from Morphe, and it's in collaboration with Pony. I used to have the James Charles palette, the Jaclyn Hill palette, all the Jaclyn Hill palettes actually, besides number 2, but then I decluttered all of that because, yeah, just, I don't know, just didn't want them anymore. But Natasha Denona, again, a brand that I'm a little iffy about. Probably not going to purchase anything from her for a little while, but these are the palettes I have. Honestly, a lot of them were gifted from friends, from a subscriber. They are nice. I do like the formula on Natasha Denona. I just don't think it's worth the price, to be honest. But now we move into Oden's Eye. These two were their first palettes, I believe, which were the first palettes I actually tried from the brand. And you guys, if you're familiar with me, you probably know that Oden's Eye has a really special spot in my heart, which we're going to get to very soon, but I just want to show you an order of the releases. So here are the Alva palettes. There's like the Alva, there's like Makeup Palette Alva 2, which this one is so pretty. The pastels, perfect for spring, but it also came with like mini palettes as well. I've used most of these mini palettes. I think there was one that I did not use yet, but they're also pretty. Packaging is very, very pretty as well. But then after the Alva collection, I believe the Norns collection came out after that. So it was a 1 mega like 16 pan palette, and then it was 3 mini palettes after that. And I also did a review on this specific collection as well. But then after that, the Saga of Freya collection came out. This one's really cool because it opens up like a book. It's double-sided. At this point, when they were coming out this collection, we already knew that our palettes were going to come in this format as well. So this was kind of like a tester to see how their audience was going to react to this format. So, I mean, our palettes were already planned like this. But the 2 palettes are really pretty. There's 3 palettes in total. So technically 4 palettes, since 1 palette is double-sided. But I really like this collection actually. There was a lot of textures and dimensions with this collection. But then we move into the Legendary Diversity collection, which I was so honored to be a part of. This is my palette, and isn't it crazy that I have a palette in this video? Like, this is my baby, guys. Like, I still cannot get over it, and like the 1-year anniversary for this is coming up, like literally in a few weeks, and I can't believe it's already been 1 year. I can't believe I have my own palette, and I can't believe you guys still love it. So within the collection, it was released with me, and then this one is Giant Wolves that was collabed with Annette's Makeup Corner, and then Hummingbird, which was with Tina from the Fancy Face. And I don't know, I just feel like the 3 palettes together, iconic. And then earlier this year they collabed with Angelica for the Healer palette, which is so beautiful as well. I feel like this is just so her. I don't know why when I think of her I think of green, so I feel like this palette was just like really perfect. And honestly, this collection, beautiful. But then their most recent palette was the Soulmane 2, which this is another colorful palette I use a lot as well. So just love Oden's Eye so much. But now we're moving into Uemura. Sorry, I can't pronounce anything right now, my throat hurts. But this was a gift from my friend. I love One Piece. I mean, I'm not watching it anymore, but I haven't even used this palette yet. It's special. It's like a collector's thing for sure. That palette also Denise bought me. Like, Denise, if you're watching, thank you so much for all the palettes you have given me, girl. But anyway, we're now moving into Sigma. Sigma definitely is a newer brand that I'm reviewing on my channel now. So I only have a few palettes from them, but I really do like their formulas. So these are the palettes that I do have. And then this one is probably, as you can tell, one of my favorite palettes. It's from 3CE, but their brand is also called Style Nanda, so I'm just adding it here. This one from Tarte was a gift from a subscriber, so thank you so much. Absolutely love this palette as well. I did a 3 looks 1 palette on this, so I'll leave that in the cards as well. Now we move into Too Faced. This one, Natural Love, girl, this takes me back. This was a gift from my friend, I don't know how long ago, but at the time I didn't actually like the palette. It was just too basic. Back then I was into bold colors, but now when I look at this palette, I love it. And then the Natural Nudes palette, this is like my go-to palette. Like, this is one of my favorites. Out of all these 200 palettes, this is one of my favorites. And now onto Unleashia. They did have this quad, but I believe it's not available anymore. They are only focusing on the Glitterpedia palette, so there's 7 in total. I do have all 7, and it's so satisfying to have all 7 because all 7 serve like a different color story for a different time and place. And I love all of them. And this one, this Lavender Fog one, surprisingly I really like, and you can see how cool tone it is, but I think like it's really growing on me. I really love that palette, but I am gonna have a guide to Unleashia coming up very soon. But these are the ones I do have, and then they also have these Tap Me palettes, which honestly, I only figured out that these are eyeshadow palettes. I've been using that top matte shade, like this one for my bronzer, this one for my blush, and also this one for my blush as well, which is actually eyeshadow, but they really do work great as blush as well. I believe if you are around my age, 96 baby, or you just got into makeup around this era, the Naked palette probably was your first palette, and then you just wanted the Naked 2 and the Naked 3 even if the colors didn't suit you, and then you also wanted the Naked basics as well. Like, I was probably maybe 15, 16, and when I tell you, I really try to save to get all these palettes, guys. Like, this is the one thing that I wanted, was these Naked palettes. Like, Urban Decay had everybody's wallet. Then I have this little mini quad from Vaen Beauty, which is a Chinese beauty brand. Have not tried it yet, but also got this one from Violet Voss as well. This came in a boxy charm. I thought colors were really pretty. Like, I think it's super pretty. Haven't used it yet though. And then this one is from What's Up Beauty. This one I got sent in PR. Also haven't tried it yet. Like, which palettes do you guys want me to use next, guys, in a video? But with that being said, What's Up Beauty is a W, so that pretty much concludes the alphabet, and those were all of my palettes. So like I mentioned, that there was a giveaway that I held on my Instagram stories, so here is the winner. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye bye.